and have had zero luck so far starting a fire with this. So I'm at Frances Slocum State Park for what is going to be the last camping trip of summer 2016, just simply because the first official day of fall falls in the middle of next week, so obviously not going to get out again. So I got 3 days here in Frances Slocum, just outside of Wyoming, Pennsylvania, and been here a few times. Really nice park, and this is the walk-in section of the campground, and there's woodpeckers and me, and that's about it. So I got here last night about 6:30, just in time to get the hammock set up, grab something to eat, and then it got dark. Didn't even do a fire last night, just went and walked around the lake a little bit, and then came up, got in the hammock, and just relaxed a little bit. That's what this 3 days is going to be all about, just relaxing. Maybe a little bit of hiking, maybe some kayaking. So I decided to try a couple different things last night because I've got some gear that I just haven't had a chance to use. One of which is my the Xped Scout Hammock Combi that I'm using, or I used last night, and that's the, show you real quick, that's the hammock with the built-in bug net. Oh, no, sorry, the hammock with the built-in bug net. Which is nice. It's a little narrower than I'm used to with my Eagle's Nest Outfitters hammock. And it feels a little unstable to me because it's narrower, but it's comfortable. It definitely works well as a backup, and I got that dirt cheap, so I figured I might as well take it out, try it, to see how I like it. But I'll probably swap out to my normal hammock tonight. Since I'm car camping, I figured I could spare the weight of bringing two hammocks. I also started the night with my homemade underquilt that I made out of a emergency blanket, and then used packing tape to make a seam, run some paracord through, and it needs a little work. It wasn't as snug against the hammock as I wanted it to be, and since I set it up so late last night, I didn't really have time to mess with it. So it was letting some drafts and it got cold, so I switched out to my normal Ember and Spark quilts that I usually use. But it's a work in progress. And the whole thing only cost me $8 or $10 to make that, maybe $12 with shipping. It was dirt cheap. I found that online, somebody had made one. I was looking for ideas for it and put that together, and it's the first time I had a chance to use it. And it worked, but like I said, it needs a little attention to detail. And then the other thing is my new tarp that I got. Now, I'll show you this way. That's what happens when you set up your stuff when the sun's going down, you put it up backwards. So this is the Pariah Outdoor Products Sanctuary Sill Tarp. So it's a sill nylon, really thin, really light, the whole kit with the tarp, the ropes, the stakes, and the stuff sacks for everything. It's only 15 ounces. It's super light, way lighter than my Eno Pro Fly, way lighter than my Eno Pro Fly, and not that much smaller actually, and even lighter than my Xped tarp. It came with the Scout, and bigger than that. So I really like this. This is probably gonna be my new go-to tarp, and it's got all kinds of tie-outs. So you can set this up any number of ways, and there's one here I have to flip that over, but you can use this as just a shelter. You could use this as a bivvy. You could just carry this with you and use the stakes and your hiking poles and make a tent out of it almost. So really good. It's a shelter and a tarp. I've been using the Paria Outdoor Products carbon cork trekking poles that had the issue with the one that they replaced, and ever since I got those new ones, they've been great. So I figured I'll give them a chance with some of their other gear, and I really like it. It's a really good tarp. Let the moon light come through. I mean, it's kind of cool. So as it started getting a little chilly last night, that's when I swapped out the underquilt, because I didn't feel like sleeping in the cold. The low was in the 45, I think it got down to, I saw. So that was right about sunrise. So it was probably in the high 40s, low 50s by the time I got up. And I was still comfortable with all the proper gear. I probably would have been a little chilly with the homemade underquilt. If you watched the video from the Quihana Trail where we did the backpacking, you may have noticed at one point I go retrieve the bear bag, but I don't untie the rope from anything. I don't use the standard method that a lot of people use, where they take their hanging rope and then tie it off to a tree. I found online this method called the Pacific Crest Trail method. Apparently the bears out in that area are really smart, and they have learned that this rope near a hanging bag of food, now there's no food in that bag, that's why it's right up against a tree. They've learned that this rope, all they gotta do is break that rope, and the bag full of food falls to the ground, and they make off with your dinner, with all your food. So what you do with this is you just use, you run the rope through, you tie it off to the carabiner, and then you feed it back through the carabiner. Wrap it around a stick a couple times, and then when you release the weight, the stick gets stuck in the carabiner, holding your bag. Now normally this would be, 15 to 20 feet up and 6 to 8 feet away from the tree. But since that's just gear in the bag and not food, I wanted to keep it off the ground. But I want to show you how I had that set up. It looks kind of odd that I just walk out and kind of pull the bag down, and you can't really see what I'm doing. So I wanted to show you what exactly it was. And you can find more information about that online. That's the Pacific Crest Trail Bear Bag Method, or the PCT Bear Bag Method. It works really good. I like it a lot. And it eliminates an animal getting, wising up to the rope. And plus, like where we had our bag hung a couple weeks ago on the Quihana Trail was right off of the hiking trail. It was right off the trail because that was the best branch we could find. It eliminates somebody walking into it. If somebody came hiking through there at night or early in the morning, they would have walked in that rope and not seen it. So it's got a couple advantages. I like it. It's easy enough to do. So if you're out hanging a bear bag, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to take credit for it because it's not my idea. I'm just passing it on. This is the Light My Fire fire knife. The knife is made by Mora, and the striker is made by Light My Fire. And have had zero luck so far starting a fire with this, but I got a little bird's nest here and some of the fat wood, which has been absolutely abysmal so far. But we're gonna give that a shot and see if I can get this started. It's so bright that I'm blinded after a few strikes.
You should see it on this.
Now, how do you get a flaming...
Quickly.
Well, it lit. Of course, we're cheating by using a door flame too, but that's the trick. You gotta light it under your tinder.